So, as you may or may not be able to tell, we had a little scufferoony on this engine casing, despite having the frame slider. And it was, as you can see, it's damaged. It was a very low speed slide. Different story, different day, but literally like 15 miles an hour. And I noticed it touched this. So I want to try and avoid that in future. Because that's the one thing I've seen people, you have a little slow slide and then it cracks this and leaks, you can't even ride it home and you're stuck. So they don't do engine sliders protectors for this engine, for the Fazer. This is a 2008 600 Fazer, FZ6. But the FZ6R uses a similar architecture, completely different bike really, but casings seem to match with this casing cover. So there we go. It's pretty inexpensive, looks like a piece of aluminium that's been machined, and uses some nice hardware to put it together. But we've got to split it in half first, fit the lower piece to the engine with new bolts, and then we can bolt the upper part onto it. So it comes with all those bolts. It also comes with an engine protector for the other side. There is the engine number. There is the part number. So yeah, this should be on the other side. We'll have a look at that in a moment, but let's get this side done. Okay, there's our two bits. So placement bolts are 3. By the looks of it. And they have spacers on them, like that, to space them away from the engine. So you've just got to work out which 3 they are, which I presume it's those lower 3. Get my head in a way to see if it all lines up, and it does appear to. So I'm hoping that we can remove these 3 without it leaking. Those are the bolts holding it in against gasket, but let's find out. Let's remember there's a cable holder on that one. One thing, I believe these bolts are going to be too long. Let's just check. Nope, actually, they look like they'll be okay. But we will put them in by hand. And we've got no leaks currently, so that's nice. It's always nice when it doesn't leak. Spacer, don't forget your spacer. And just gently start them. Spacer again. Now I will, down the road, intend to replace this end. Just trying to find a second-hand one that's in better condition than this is quite hard. I mean, it shouldn't be, you'd think, but it is quite hard. Now, I'm only putting these on gently. Now, this end one, a bit worried. The thread goes all the way through, but that doesn't want to. I don't want to snap it off and cause a world of pain. I just think the thread goes a little bit deeper on that one. There we go. It's always better to feel your way through than break it. Okay, let's find the torque specs for those bolts. It's 12. Might already be there, to be honest. 12 is not much. Hang on. I've just twisted that. 12, there we go. 12. 12. 12. And then we'll go for the same on these 4, because they are of the thread pitch and size of the main crankcase bolts. Not crankcase, it's clutch cover, isn't it? Is it clutch cover? No, clutch is the other side. So we just zip them up on a low setting. and then torque them up. Thread bolt, thread lock, no, but I'll keep an eye on them. You know what? I think I might just do them to that, whatever that is. It's going in that aluminium casing. Oh, that feels tight. So I wonder what that is. Let's drop the torque down to 10 Newton meters. Yeah, that. I don't think I'd want to do it any tighter than that. We've got stainless bolts into aluminium. There we go. There you go. So let's switch to the other side. Yes, it doesn't cover the scratches, but it will protect it if it falls again. And then we'll look for a new one of these, a replacement one. And if not that, I'm trying to find the right colour code for the engine. We can paint all the engine parts, because that could just be a bit of a sand and a polish. Anyway, that's irrelevant. That's that side done. I've only had to use a 5mm Allen screw head so far, unless you've got the fairings like me, which I already had off. Let's switch to the other side and see what it looks like. So here we are on t'other side. There we go. This cover goes like that. Well, it's not a cover, it's a protector. Obviously it doesn't look quite right now, but that little baggie of bits comes with the little spacers again. Yummy. So, there's a nice looking cover. I think they did them a couple of colours, but black seemed to be the best colour for me. We will go through the same process. And that process is loosen off, hope it doesn't leak. Now I have had this apart with a new gasket not long ago, well maybe 2 years ago, and put the timing cog in, +4 degrees on the timing. Yeah, click on the thing on the, and you'll find that. So we're going to go through the same process. This cover here needs to be removed. So this cover here covers up 2 holes, a bit like the other side did. So I'll just get those off. Well, they're very loose anyway. Obviously expecting you to take it apart. And then the 3 bolts slip in there quite nicely, like that, with the little spacers, like that. Again, I'm not going to put thread lock on. It's not what is required on the original bolts. Just torque them correctly, and they don't need that. People use thread lock way too much. If anything, I'd put a bit of grease on them. But as the originals look clean, I'm going to replace them in the same way. Now this is on a very low torque setting, this gun. This can undo wheel nuts, but I'm not using it on that setting. And as soon as I'm done, switch round. 12 Newton meters are the same this side, which is that much. Very little amount, I know. Sometimes the small amount of torque is just as critical as the large torque settings on these things. There we go. See, you can easily over torque that. Again, it's going into an aluminium casing. And I'm going to switch down to 8 Newton meters for those lower ones, because they're tiny. Okay. Now, I've done this pretty much real time, with very few cuts, I expect, Mr. Editor. Very few cuts. Other than getting my tools out, you've pretty much seen me do all the work. If you have fairings, you have to take them off. Yeah, that is plenty tight enough. I'm going to check by hand. Torque wrench sometimes a bit big. I haven't got a torque setting for those, but that is tight. Yeah, okay, done. Engine protection, beautiful. It's going to protect that lower hose as well, which does get rubbed on sometimes. So you've got frame protectors, fault protectors, and then those. Again, FZ6R, that's what I bought for this. They share some architecture about the engine. They're lower powered, different frame, different all sorts, but they share the same architecture of the engine. So FZ6R, engine protectors, both sides, looking mint, easy to fit. That's taking me 10 minutes. If I wasn't doing this video, it'd be even quicker. Now time for celebration tea. Thanks for watching. That's lunchtime for me. And this is time for you to
subscribe.